Welcome back. We are here for the Between Lilacs in the Dark, episode 6. So, we still have some characters, some players that need to narrate Mask of the Pig still. So, just as a review, Mask of the Pig is each hunter narrates a dream about the pagan swine god Moch. Did Moch demand a sacrifice of riches, status, or blood? What did they each sacrifice? Right? So I believe it's Lady Ross Carter, Larabee, and Dr. Whitford who have to narrate still. So whoever's ready.
I'll go first.
Okay?
The dream starts, and we see a younger Lady Ross Carter, probably in her late 40s, early 50s, and we see her crawling through mud on hands and knees. Her sleeves are rolled up, and her face is just covered in mud. And she's like snorting and rifling and rooting through all the mud and tearing at clods of earth. And then she looks up, and then we see Mock watching from above, massive and hulking. He's got tusks that are full of mud as well. And he grunts demands at Ross Carter. We cannot understand what he's saying. There's snorts and squeals. But Ross Carter understands. All right. She starts to crawl through the mud and like dig, and she pulls out an old strong box, and she's able to smash it open, and she reveals old brass buttons from a coat, and she throws them behind her. She digs her hands in even further and drags out old expedition maps, beautifully framed but now covered in mud, ruined beyond repair even. And she digs and digs deeper and deeper, and as she's doing this now, she's starting to squeal more until she pulls out a giant blade that ends up stabbing her straight through the throat. And as that happens and the blood starts squirting out of her neck, she wakes up in her bed at Hargrave House in a cold sweat, and her throat is sore and scratchy.
The dream starts and Elinor is in a forest, but it's also her lab in Hargrave House and the morgue she spent most of her time in at school, and the morgue in Scotland Yard, and a slaughterhouse hung with a combination of pigs and people, both whole and in parts. There's a bloody butcher block in front of her and a cleaver in her hand. The delicate female voice she almost recognizes says sympathetically, "And if thy right hand offends thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. I know you've never been one for scripture, Hawk, but needs must." And without any thought, Elinor brings the cleaver down. Her hand doesn't hurt, but the thwack of the cleaver cleaving through bone reverberates up her arm. She picks her hand up and throws it into the darkness surrounding her, which becomes full of pig noises. And then she looks up, and something enormous and stinking of old blood says, "And now the other one." And then she wakes up.
So Rose finds herself in an opulent house that is at once Hargrave House and is also a different house that she knows all too well, on the other side of the Atlantic. um, and she is going through the halls and going through rooms, like looking for something. She isn't quite sure what it is, and she hears a sound in the distance that she can't quite place. Is it chanting? Is it grunting? She's not sure, so she tries to follow it, you know, and she opens a door in she opens a door and steps through and finds herself inside a one of the wagons, or I'm sorry, one of the train cars that had been her dressing room, in the Wild West show that was touring the Southwest. And she looks down. She's no longer wearing a no longer wearing a dress. She's now dressed in her Wild West show attire. You know, makes sure, and there's a knock on the door, and the stage manager says, all right, Rose, you're on in 5 minutes. You might want to come out. She pats her pistol on her side, picks up the carbine that she's going to do the shooting demonstration for, and um, opens up the door and steps outside. And she is riding a horse through the desert. And it's at night. And she still hears this sound ahead, and it's at night, and there's a glow ahead. And she comes around, and what she at first thinks is a Native American village with a campfire in front, and she looks back again, and she's no longer on horseback. She's now standing before a giant bonfire, but what she first thought were teepees are now like standing stones. And it's still at night, it's still the desert, but these are big standing stones like you would see here in England. And she hears a voice behind her. It's a guttural voice that almost echoes and says, you stand before me, child. What shall you give me? What shall you give me to remove this curse that has befallen you? And she turns around on all fours because she is now a mountain lion, and there is a giant being that is half man, half pig, covered with filth, covered with covered with blood coming down its bloody tusks. And he says, "What sacrifice will you give to me?" And she, looks over her shoulder and narrows her leonine eyes and uh, sees a human figure silhouetted by the fire. And she leaps, landing on this figure's back. Um, her fangs about to tear into this person's throat, and that's when she wakes up.
Preliminary star for all of those. Absolutely. So, mechanically, let's go ahead and take a little review of everybody's dawn questions just to be sure that folks are kind of keeping aware of what they're trying to hit for the next cycle, as well as everybody else to help them help each other out to hit these marks. Okay? So, American, what are the two elective dawn questions you're trying to hit for this cycle?
I was muted. Um, so, Ms. Larabee is taking, did you share a treasured memory from the States during an intimate moment with another character? And my tried and true, did you use violence to solve a problem?
Always. Okay. All right. Lady Ross Carter.
Did you leverage your social status to gain the upper hand? And did you have a face to face encounter with the mastermind?
Okay. Hmm. Dr. Whitford.
Did you dismiss the possibility of a supernatural explanation despite everything you've experienced? And did you put your hand in a pile of guts and love every moment of it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Jack.
I'm starting with my favorite one. Did you casually mention encountering an important historical personage? And the other one is, did you push someone away because of their mortality?
All right. So, can help each other out. Keep those in mind. Keep checking the character keeper if you want to like have some interesting moments. While we are looking, actually, let me just take a little look-see here. We have folks with conditions. Somehow, Dr. Whitford and Jack went unscathed. I'm getting bad at this. But our
Well,
American
I
and
had to
Explorer.
die to get rid of mine. So,
Okay. All right. But I need to freak Dr. Whitford out a little bit more. All
Say
right.
that cost would be a little high for the rest of us.
Exactly. All right. And then the American and the explorer need to kind of do a little bit of vulnerable moves. Maybe not with each other, maybe with other folks. Like so, it depends on what you want plan on doing for the day
And
phase.
I took an advancement last time, so I have a new move that I do have a new move that could conceivably clear that can clear a condition.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I think Lady Ross Carter, you have the opportunity for an advancement as well, like when I did your
Yes, I
dark
heard
motion.
that. Thank you. And I've taken +1 to composure.
Excellent. Okay, fabulous.
I, on the other hand, have acquired gravediggers.
Okay.
So I have the resurrectionists now.
Resurrectionists are an absolutely wonderful move for the mother. So you have the possibility of building your, well, child faster. So, yeah. Okay. So let's see. Um, let's get to it. Let me find out where everybody what wants to do for the beginning of day phase first before I organically introduce the new threat as usual. You did get a little bit of a preview of it last time, but we'll continue onward with that for the day phase. Okay, so what are people's plans on doing? Well, actually, I mean, I already know kind of what Dr. Whitford and Jack are going to be doing. Jack's dead, and Dr. Whitford needs to
Watch.
perform an autopsy, gather things. I mean, you have opportunities. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't happen all at once, Dr. Whitford. So, just a thought.
I guess I
Consider it.
guess I guess technically I do have a condition, and the condition is deceased.
Yep,
So I've added that to my sheet.
yep. So, um, so that's kind of like a built-in thing already this morning for you two.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, and then just as a reminder, let me see, play structure, reference sheet. The way it works is vulnerable move. When you have an intimate moment with one or more hunters while one of you is engaged in your vice, so it just has to be one person's vice, you may each clear an appropriate condition. The hunter whose vice it is can speak freely about their past. Then, as a group, define a clue that is stumbled upon during the scene. The clue cannot conclusively answer a question by itself. Alternatively, you can engage in your vice by yourself or with a side character to get the benefits of the move, but doing so triggers the day/night move. Okay? And you can only participate in the vulnerable move once per phase. So keep those things in mind. Okay? So Dr. Whitford and Jack. And how would Larabee and Lady Ross Carter like to engage with the morning?
You want to go, Mike?
Sure. I'm thinking that Miss Larrabee will again, I think she's gonna sleep in, kind of come down the stairs, I don't know, at a at a perfectly reasonable hour, like, 10, like 10, like, 10:30 or 11. And have some breakfast. And I initially I was thinking initially I was like thinking of having a scene at the breakfast table just to, you know, to have a vulnerable move, but I'm not sure how much I mean, she's been known to drink bourbon at breakfast. So I was hoping to maybe have a vulnerable move over breakfast at some point with somebody who might be there.
Well,
Um,
I was thinking about waking up early and heading to the gym. I don't know
hmm.
if that's something Larrabee would like to join me with. And if the
Hmm.
mastermind happens to show up there too, so be it.
Oh, 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 oh. Maybe. Oh, okay. Yes, I will be happy to do that because I am coming home. I'm coming. I'm coming back to Hargrave House from being out all night, and um, and I walk in and I see that Lady Ross Carter is,
perhaps I pass you along the way.
or like, I come in as you are getting ready to go, and you give the invitation, and I say, I give me 5 minutes, and 10 minutes later she's back and is ready to join you.
She finds it very annoying that you would be late, but that's okay.
Their relationship. And I think as this is happening, then down. Where is Dr. Whitford's lab, by the way, in Hargrave House? Is this second floor, third floor, basement? Where is it?
I think basement, towards the back. There's probably, it's near a stairway or it's near a back door.
I was going to suggest attic, so you have like better access to the lightning rod. I'm just kidding. That was more of a joke than anything else.
Drag it out in the backyard if necessary. I'm thinking cooler, darker.
Well, in consideration for it being cooler and darker, I mean, I think Wild Rose has helped you, well, put Jack's body on the slab. What is your lab like?
It's
What do we
very
see here?
precise. There's a lot of tools hanging on the wall, but they're all very like evenly spaced. It's clear that Dr. Whitford wants everything at hand and to know where everything is and to keep everything clean, but that doesn't necessarily preclude it smelling a little bit like dead things. There's a sort of back room that everyone knows not to go in. I don't know if it's locked, but it's, no one wants to piss her off enough to check. And if Jin doesn't mind, I think there's a small corner with a comfy chair and like a little parade of origami animals on the corner, because I think sometimes Jack comes down to watch me work.
Absolutely.
Well, Jack's down here for a different reason this time, so.
Oh, but that's right. Yeah, that's right. Rose rolled up Jack in a rug and brought him back to Hargrave House that way. So yeah, I guess she would be there at first, and we'll like unroll him, and between her and the doctor, like put him on the slab, and Rose just kind of like looks down at the corpse of Jack and says, "Well, I'd pour one out for him, but I don't want to wait. But he's I'm pretty sure he's going to be back, and none too long from now. And I'd rather save it. So here's to you, Jack. Bug." And at that, I will take my leave.
You will take the rug with you.
Oh, right.
Don't care what happens to it. It is not staying here.
I don't know. Might brighten up the place, might. And I see your stony glance. I see your stony glance, laugh, and take the rugged leave. Hey, I need to step off camera. I'll be right back.
Sure. So the way I think we went over this quick last time, but I just want to do a quick reminder. The way that my no rest move works, I've marked the condition deceased, and the manner of my death is I was burned to death in the bar. When another hunter has an intimate moment with my corpse, they may describe how they examine my mortal wounds and are engrossed, aroused, or repulsed. Then I clear all physical conditions, including deceased, describe the process of my return, including what slowly fading sign of my cause of death is clearly visible to anyone who closely examines me. And then if I want to, I can make a roll to try and get a clue for because of the resurrection process. So I guess the question is, are you engrossed, aroused, or repulsed when you examine my charred corpse?
For now, engrossed. Um, Probably aroused, but certainly not in touch with that. Um, I think I've seen this happen a couple times before, but never from this cause of death. And each time, um, I feel like you are neither dead nor alive, as I understand it. So there's nothing to do except, are there things that make it more or less comfortable for you to reanimate?
I think that um so like are you actually using any kind of instruments on me or anything, or like a magnifying glass or anything like that, or are you just kind of sitting there watching?
I think I poked at some crispy skin with a scalpel, like
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily actually flaking you. I
Yeah.
don't think I've snapped enough to harvest anything yet. I'm
Yeah,
very
sure.
close, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You do have the opportunity, and I usually will not remind players about their moves, but I mean, I have a particular
oh
bias
right,
towards the
he
mother,
counts as
a
you count as a
corpse.
dead body.
I
You,
am a dead body. That is correct.
um,
I don't
huh.
normally suggest it, but you do
I
have a move for
appreciate
this.
that. What? I would like to use a move.
Okay.
Um,
That
I
was
know how this person died, but if there's more information about how this person died,
Okay.
and I very much had that synergy in mind when I created the playbook. I knew
Yep.
that that was a thing that would interact with that move. So, yeah, that's great.
Yep. That's right. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to assume that we're going to work with the Figs Pigs thing first, since that's what you guys have on tap right now. All right. So, how this person die? Well, you know about the burning because you were there. Well, you kind of suspected as much. However, I'm just looking at these clues and I just was thinking it's like this would be so much fun to find in Jack. um,
he's certainly peeling. Like
Well, and we don't
I,
know what I might have like slipped into my pocket when I was at the pie shop, or
that's
right.
true. That's very
like
true.
had just like has been stuck in my hair or something like that that I haven't noticed or whatever since I was scrambling through the awful down there. So
Yeah,
I
something.
definitely think that if Dr. Whitford saw something, say, shiny sticking out of Jack's body, she would be compelled to pull it out,
Yeah.
whether it was on the long side or inside.
Okay, I got one, and this is going to be weird, but this is a clue. This is a clue for Figs Pig. So please, somebody, go ahead and put this in there. I think as you're examining Jack's corpse, I think you're putting apart the skin. You're using your tools to kind of fine tooth comb him, and you realize that you see something weird and granular peeking out, and you're like, wait, that's odd. And I think in certain parts of Jack's body, like one stuck in his rib cage, another one stuck like maybe in the nestled in the groove of musculature, like you'll see, and in like one stuck in a joint, you'll see blocks of salt. So the clue is blocks of salt in an unusual place. Boy, howdy. So, yeah, that's the clue for Figs Pigs. Blocks of salt in an unusual place.
I suspect initially Dr. Whitford is like, was that in the sand I doused him with? But it's very clear that it's not.
Mm-mm.
But Then it must have been in the sand. I don't know why she'd have blocks of salt in her fire dousing sand.
And you can take a body part for the child without anyone noticing.
Oh, okay. I'm not ready to disassemble Jack, but I'll have some hair.
Okay. Mark that on your sheet. And yeah. And you, let's see, da 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 da. Um, Interesting. Usually says, let me just check something here. It usually says when you acquire a body part that you remember something about
Oh,
it.
yes, I saw that somewhere.
Yep.
Yep. Narrate a brief, pleasant memory of the person you lost that is triggered by holding the part in your hands.
There you go. Okay.
Um, Dr. Whitford's not a very touchy-feely person, but Dell used to like to comb my hair and put it up in fanciful arrangements that I would never have left my house in, but it made her happy, and it made me happy to make her happy. So I have memory of someone putting elaborate like braid crowns and sticking flowers in them.
And yeah, and I think that so kind of as you hold the hair there, the thing that happens when Jack comes back to life is that, um his eyes shoot open and uh like I blink a couple of times as like they adjust to the light and everything. And I have this kind of like expectant look on, whatever the charred remains of my face. And then like my face just kind of falls in disappointment as I realize I'm alive again. And I don't weep or anything like that, but it's because it's happened so many times. But I think you've seen this before. That like the normal reaction you might expect from someone who, after undergoing something that they sure would, finding themselves alive after going through something like I went through, might be, oh my God, I'm alive. But Jack's like, oh, okay, well, I'm alive. And my eyes shoot open and uh kind of glance over to you. And I say, Dr. Whitford, thank you for bringing me back to Hargrave House. How bad is it?
Your body bad?
Yeah. And I kind of like experimentally sit up and I'm looking at and I like look at my arm and it's like, kind of charred and like ashen. And I kind of do this thing where I just sort of kind of start to just sort of like brush at it. And where it should, it's that thing where like as I brush the ash away, it should be like charred and nasty bone underneath, but it's clean, you know, hairless skin as I brush it off. And I kind of start to do this and and like where I do this thing, where my fingers go, it's like pink new skin underneath. And I'm just kind of starting to do this, kind of like peeling it off as I'm
I hand you a wet cloth.
thank you. And I start, and like I'm just, rubbing myself down and everything, and kind of little one of those. And I am the kind of when I'm done, it's, I look like uh you know like perfectly healthy, no scars or anything like that. And no scars, no hair, like, but already, I think and what is that it's an accelerated process for like, like I'll have, like stubble within a few hours and my eyebrows will have grown back and stuff like that and everything. But right now, in this moment, kind of when I've just come to, it's like I'm like a new thing that has just emerged from, you know.
I know your skin's always sensitive, but I suspect that you're going to feel extra sunburnt for a little bit this time.
And I nod and I say, wear, I will reluctantly wear a hat.
I think I have a robe for you. I don't know if you always take it, but I imagine you
Oh
are
yeah,
naked.
I do. I don't want to embarrass you or anything like that. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I take it and, kind of fun, to tie the belt and everything. And I guess the other thing is that I am generally pretty ravenous after that. Like I'm hungry. And like what we've established kind of is that like I can live without eating, but I'm always hungry after this. And so, I kind of tie the belt to the robe and I look at you and I say, have you had brunch yet?
I have not. Give me a moment to clean up you, because I imagine I've
Uh,
just got drifts of charred skin, and I'll join you in the dining room.
all right, I will make sure I will do my best to politely hold off until you arrive. And I'll go up to my room and I'll dress. And
Right.
I think it's one of these things where we'll arrive at the table at the same time, maybe because I've dressed.
Okay. Let's cut over to Lady Ross Carter and Larabee at the gym. What is this gym like, Lady Ross Carter?
Yes. So the gym is called the Black Lion Gym. So it is here in the chat. It's got like sawdust all over the floors. There's a couple of like wrestling mats with big circles that are smeared with blood and sweat, etc. And we see Lady Ross Carter likes to stand up on the like bandstand podium so she can look down and oversee all the wrestlers stretching and sparring, etc., etc. And there's a trainer there named Bart who she pays the salary for. Um, and she likes to come and critique the progress of the hopeful wrestlers. The Olympics are coming up, I believe.
And they've acquired a new wrestler for training. Of course, I forgot the name of the fellow that.
His name is Reginald Peck.
Yep, that's it.
The larger orderly.
Mm-hmm. Orderly from Bethlehem.
And when like Rose follows Lady Russ Carter in, she has this look of being just completely dumbfounded that someone of your stature would deign to come to this kind of place.
She looks at you and she says, "Oh, dear Larabee, you look shocked that I would be at such a place. But look, behold, look at these fine specimen, and they're such perfect physiques. So disciplined, so hardworking. Don't you think?" And right as I ask that, I look and I yell at one of the wrestlers to grab by the arm and lift in. Don't push out. And I look back at you. I'm sorry. So you were saying?
I'm uh, I'm simultaneously impressed and shocked. I would not have imagined that you were a participant in.
Oh, I do not
I didn't.
participate. No, look
Well,
at me. I'm such.
I didn't
Yeah.
mean. Well, I didn't mean participant. I didn't expect you to be down there like throwing people around. I just didn't expect you to be a spectator of such things. I
Well,
would have.
we can all we all contain multitudes, right? I'm sure there's some things that you enjoy that we would be shocked by or impressed by. I'm not sure. And she looks again, and there's another wrestler who's got their head down, and she's like, "Don't put your head down. That's the sure way to get pinned." I'm sorry. Yes. So, what do you not have any secret hobbies or things that you enjoy?
Um, well, there are. I've been known to. I've been known to cut loose a little bit now and again. Um, After I've had a, you know, perhaps a bit more bourbon than I should have.
Hmm. Well, I just remember like I was in Rome one time, and I was invited to a wrestling match, and I thought, why would I go to such a thing? And I went, and it was exhilarating. Like the energy in the room, the technical prowess of everyone, it was quite impressive. And I've just found myself going back and right as she's saying that, she looks down at one of the wrestlers who's slacking off, not working, and she yells to him to get back to work, get back to punching that bag, lifting those weights, etc. And she comes right back in and she says, "Well, you know, I think it's important for everyone to have a wide variety of hobbies because you never know where you're going to learn the most valuable skill. If you stay too one laned, you'll be more liable to break."
Well, I will take that as some life advice. Certainly seen. I've certainly witnessed some wrestling. We used to have some staged. We used to have some staged hand-to-hand combat exhibitions in the traveling show I was in.
Hmm.
Not
Like
as
like
not as
boxing, kickboxing, what?
um well to a certain extent, yeah. It would usually be it would usually be like it would be a demonstration of I mean, we had a couple of Native Americans that used to travel with us, and it would be a demonstration of their hand-to-hand combat
Hmm.
practices, which are different from ours.
Well, I'm
Um,
happy to try to organize a sparring match for you with another person if you would like that.
well, I will keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. No, I always thought it was interesting, but as she pauses, as you bark at another one, you seem to be quite a bit more into this than I was.
Wow, well, you've caught me. I'm slightly get enraged when I watch this in a good way. Mainly because
Yeah,
I want such good things for these young men. Like I want them to succeed at such a high level. Is that so wrong?
no, not at all. Um, if you are a patron of if you are a patron of exhibitions of athleticism,
I'm a
um,
patron of all the arts.
hmm, well then yeah, of course if you want a good team to represent yourself to represent Queen and country at the Olympics, this
Oh,
is
we
how you
do.
do it.
We
This
do.
is how you do it.
The queen is especially interested in the wrestling. Shh, don't tell.
I know how to keep a secret.
I'm sure you do. That feels like a good line to end that on.
And I think, I think as as you're discussing this, and then you're, alternately like yelling at the wrestlers, I think there's a bit of a, not a ruckus, but I mean, there's a bit of a disturbance as there's um, two young people that come into the gym. Um, One who looks relatively muscular seems to be wearing uh, kind of like a, I don't know what they call them, like the thin shirt, and then kind of like the
Like a singlet.
yeah, exactly, and then like yeah, just kind of like gym wear, like ready to go, and like just like well defined muscles, but you wouldn't suspect it. And I think Rose, I think as you get a closer look at this person, I think you realize it's Dr. Holzer, and next to him is I don't know if you've seen her before, but a red-headed woman with curls tucked on one side of her head, and she seems to be in, well, what could be considered active wear for Victorian women, where she's wearing kind of like a loose-fitting shirt and scandalously like male trousers, like as if she's ready to get into the ring um, to train as well. And of course, behind them both is a tiny, floral bedecked figure of Mrs. Pemberton Potts. Oh,
I
Monday! How lovely! I didn't realize you patronize this wonderful establishment.
I remind well, Pemberton Pot. Surprised to see you here. I see that you are trying to encroach yet again on one of my realms.
Not encroach, merely to see about having my wards getting some training. This is Dr. Holzer, very much into the Turnbewegung movement back in uh, Germany, and so very active,
Who
willing to learn.
who is this person you're training? And I look at the lady that's walked in.
Ah, this is one of my other wards. This is Laurel Walton. She acts as my secretary.
I kind of give a little side eye to Larabee for a moment, and I look at this other lady, and
And when you give the side eye to Rose, she has like breaking character for just a minute. We're like on a balcony looking down at this.
a
Okay.
little like not like a balcony, just like a stand that probably has some steps going, like a wooden
Oh,
like
okay.
bandstand sort of situation.
Okay. Okay. So when you give some side eye to when you give some side eye to Rose, she's she is looking very 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 quizzically at this woman and was about to ask you a question when Pemberton Potts like came in and addressed you and like and just whispers, I I didn't think you trained women in a place like this.
Well, we don't normally, but I'm happy to oblige. Hold on one second. Pemberton Potts, have y'all paid the membership fee to the gym?
Of course. I
Good.
mean, at the very least, I mean, if this could be just a trial, if you don't consider, well, my money good for it. I mean, again, just
Money spends just as well, no matter where it came from. Just making sure that you're following the rules. We take rules and discipline very strictly here.
of course, of course. It's not like I am asking for anything for free. I am merely trying to look out for my wards to have training or to indulge their interests.
Well, very well. Well, we hope to see you back often.
We'll see. We shall see. I'm interested to, well,
This
there
is
seems to be many fine things to look at. Is that why you're here?
that's part of why I'm here. But I really care about these wrestlers, and then I yell at one of them to keep their head up. And I look back and I say, sometimes tough love is the most effective.
You always were one to make sure to oversee things properly. Hmm,
Details matter.
details matter. And let's cut back over
Cool.
to Dr. Whitford and Jack real quick. We'll get back to the completion of your vulnerable move in a sec. Dr. Whitford and Jack, that was not necessarily a vulnerable move since, I mean, aside from possibly clearing Jack's deceased move since he's no longer deceased. But
Yep.
I mean, um, if you want to, hold on.
I'm gonna forego making that move that I have the option to make when I come back.
Okay. Does that only happen like, afterwards for something?
That happens after I come back. I have the
Mhm.
option to make a roll to try and get a clue to, that the resurrection process
Okay. Which you can.
provides me
I
with.
mean, you can still. I mean, like it's not
Yep.
like
Nope. I'm just gonna I'm gonna pass on doing that for now.
okay.
Um, but I think we can do a I mean, you know, uh, Jack's got a great big old English breakfast minus the sausage laid out in front of him. Not really feeling like sausage right now, given what I just went through. Um, but I've got maybe extra beans and an additional poached egg on there or something like that. English muffin and everything. And I'm, kind of like sitting there, sort of like tapping my fingers on the table, waiting for, Dr. Whitford to sit down as well.
I will enter the room and say you didn't have to wait, and help myself to a piece of toast with the barest scraping of marmalade
Mm-mm.
and some tea.
And like I literally like kind of like hover over my plate with a fork, waiting for you to like I don't that first little corner of toast, and then I like to kind of
I will
start to
probably make eye contact and like pause. If you're gonna
yeah.
wait,
All right. And so like, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of, talking to you between bites, right? Like I'm not I don't bother with like I'm not a refined eater or anything like that. But um uh did you so did you learn anything? I know that these observations have been are part of your research. Uh uh Hippocrates assembled a whole volume of different ways that I died, and he was never able to come up with anything helpful to me. But I was hoping that, given your modern uh, study of modern medicine and your rigorous application of the scientific method, that perhaps we might have made some progress on figuring out a way to uh, help me stay dead.
well, I think we can rule out fire. I mean, you were not charred to ash, but I don't. Did Hippocrates disassemble you?
In a number of different ways. I volunteer. I'd rather not get into the. Suffice to say that they made use of all of the available tools at the time to attempt to find a way to kill me in a way that I did not return, including reducing me to ash, which it turns out is insufficient.
No, no new information. I still think there's something about distribution, but I don't know how. You are a unique specimen, and I wish I could help you.
Well, I wish it were so as well, Doctor. I am sorry that I remain a conundrum. Uh, any further progress on your other project?
I think I will look a little. I did happen to sample your hair, and I've read some fascinating texts. Little progress. I know you have offered me whatever parts I wish to acquire, since we
Uh,
have determined that small distributions do not affect resurrection.
I will not miss them.
Sort of lean forward. I haven't seen you regrow a limb yet. I don't wish to pain you, and it seems extremely painful to die, but only disappointing to wake up? Or wake isn't the right word. What word do you prefer?
Wake is as good a word as any.
Then let us use wake. Are
I don't experience it as sleep. There's no sense of time passing. I die, and then uh, the last thing I saw before I died was your face, and then it was like I blinked and I saw your face again, but I recognized that the ceiling was different.
I don't wish to pry, so you should ignore this. If you wish, I shall not be offended. Latanya? Is that a name that you recognize?
Yes, it's someone I knew from a long time ago. Sometimes when my life is slipping away, um, it becomes difficult to separate the moment that I'm in now from other times in my long, long existence. Uh, I didn't mean to startle you. I apologize.
Oh, no. Sometimes, either when dying or waking, you say some things that you wish to be reminded of, and sometimes you say things you do not wish to be reminded of, and I have no way to tell the difference.
Hmm. Well, I appreciate your powers of observation and your consideration. Uh, uh, Capital, as always, Mrs. McGarity. And like I've got, whatever, two completely clean plates in front of me by this point. Um, and I think we can come up with a clue here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's give you a chance to do that by cutting back to the gym for what Larabee and Lady Ross Carter want to
We're
do with their move. Yeah, let's go back to the gym and check on Larabee and Lady Ross Carter. What conditions are we looking at to release
Well,
with
I only have the one that I can clear, which
mm-hmm,
would be mellowed. So I think by being here, I'm a little bit more excited and,
mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, sounds good.
I don't want to say jacked up, but that's kind of like the the vibe a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, this gets your adrenaline pumping, so I get it. Okay.
And I think Rose is going to clear drained because this was somewhat exhilarating. It was somewhat exhilarating to see, you know, well, partly it was exhilarating to see what kind of Lady Rose Carter finds exhilarating. But it was also interesting to see this, and also interesting to see that the clientele is a bit more varied than Rose had assumed.
We don't necessarily have to have a scene with this, like, just yet, unless you want to. I mean, like, it's pretty much up to you. I mean, like, if you want to get back to Hargrave House and then, like, have um, an introduction to the threat, I mean, at least Jack and Dr. Whitford are there, so I can totally do that.
I'm happy with going back to
Yeah,
Hargrave House at this point.
yeah,
Yep,
we'll just cut back.
yep.
But as we leave, we see as Rose turns to leave, she does look over her shoulder again at the um these wards of Lady Pemberton Potts, because she does remember encountering the doctor, and she is intrigued by this other person.
Yeah. I mean, I think the doctor will kind of like, look after you, Rose, and like, before he turns to his like the directions of the trainer, I think he does kind of like, stare after you, and then like Laurel will take a curious look at him watching you, and then she'll pay attention, and I think you hear, as you're leaving, you hear a thud, um, and you realize that Laurel has put one of the wrestlers on his back. Whoopsie.
Should we make up a clue now, or should we hold off on that?
You put TBD under.
I got you.
Yeah. So if you don't have something in mind just yet, just remember it
I
can't.
have something percolating, but I haven't quite been able to like word it yet.
Well,
So
workshop it with the table.
yeah.
Yeah. But just TBD it for now, so this
Yep.
way you guys remember that that's what you're gonna do.
TBD gym clue.
Dr. Whitford and Jack. Did you say that you had a vulnerable move of sorts, like being at the breakfast table?
Oh yeah, because I think one of the doctor's vice is watching people eat, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you totally can
Mhm.
discover a clue if you want.
So I had a notion for something for Fig's Pigs, but um if we're going to introduce the new one, I'm cool with banking it, and then we meet them, and then we can see if there's something that suggests itself.
Okay. Yeah. So
If you'd
unless
like, it can be
you-
something that, like, I was thinking something that I swept up from the Jack debris and the rug debris is, I don't know what the clue is, but I would pull it out at breakfast if I had found something interesting in cleaning up the lab after you had left.
Yeah, and there also could be like, as I think back on things I saw, something I remembered, that at the time, like had slipped my mind or something like
You
that.
were
But
busy at the time.
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
little bit busy wrestling with
I was
the branch tree thing. I mean,
otherwise
geez.
occupied. Yeah, but we could, but yeah, go. I would love to meet the new threat, and then we can decide, if we can like bank one, like Mike and Clint did, then
Yeah.
that gives us the option for whichever.
Absolutely. Okay. So, basically, I think as you two are finishing up, and then maybe we see Lady Ross Carter and Larabee on their way home. We hear the ding 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 of the front door, and Mrs. McGarity gives you both like a very pointed look. I ain't getting that.
I shrug that, and get up and go to the door, and in my usual manner, I just, kind of throw it open to see who's there.
Hello. I believe this is Hargrave House.
It is indeed. You appear to be in distress. We specialize in distress, man. You're lucky you've come to the right place.
I appreciate that. Please, I am Annabelle Fitzgerald.
Miss
I
Fitzgerald, please step off our stoop and come into our parlor here.
thank you.
This is uh, uh, this is my colleague, Dr. Elinor Whitford.
How do you do? The easiest way to try and explain would be just to tell you what I found.
We have found that often to be the case, yes.
One of my fellow members of my group, I found him in the alley. He was dead. His eyes were open. His hands were bloody. And there are blue streaks of tears on his cheeks.
Kind of arch one eyebrow and then turn and cast a glance at like an inquiring glance at Dr. Whitford. At like, like it's a do you have any idea what she's talking about? Look.
Only just found the body this morning. I'm sorry.
Is it still there?
I believe so. I came straight from there to here.
Have we heard Larrabee and Lady Rose Carter come in, or are they still?
I mean, you guys can be
Okay.
can come.
I was gonna say,
can come
maybe
clattering
yeah,
in by now.
I was gonna say maybe we came in just a few minutes before our new
Okay.
guest arrived.
Um, should we dispatch one of us to go examine the body while someone else questions this person? I
Oh,
probably should be speaking in a quieter voice than I am in front of this woman, but
She
um,
not.
looks a bit in shock. I mean, like, like seeing a dead body, if you ain't used to seeing it. Yeah.
and you know, I nod. Um, uh, you know, we'll definitely want to get a look at that body before somebody else comes and carts it away, or Scotland Yard arrives and treats it to their tender ministrations. And like the woman has been, the this distraught woman has been talking to me and everything kind of seems engaged with me, and so I kind of like nod at Larabee and say, can you accompany the doctor?
I can do that. Um, I think when when our new guest came in, and she heard the doorbell ring and the talking. I think Rose came out of the kitchen, with a steaming mug of coffee in her hand, which she finishes rather quickly.
My
Well,
dear, oh, go
these
ahead.
uh well, I guess strange things don't let us rest these days, so I guess we're gonna head off.
And I kind of guide her into the dining room and I say, my dear, this is the Lady Rosamond Ross Carter. She is the um, she's the peer here at Hargrave House, with a direct ear to the Queen herself. And perhaps you could sit down and I kind of snap my fingers a couple of times, for Mrs. McGarity, and tell us as clearly as you can how you came to be here with us.
I received your card from some source I don't even remember. I just know I was told that you handle strange cases, and I can't think of any other than this being exceptionally strange to us. Me. Um, I am a member of the clubhouse for the bright and the beautiful, a salon in Kensington. We talk about different uh, topics, and we've been discussing a particular hypnotherapeutic method recently of a Dr. Lawrence Klauser, uh, an alienist from Germany, and he's been teaching us how to get rid of pain and regret and things that hold us back. And we were so happy. And Harrison, my Harrison, a fellow member, he was also quite satisfied and pleased with what we've been learning. And I found him, Harrison Leeds, dead in the Whitechapel alley. As I described, his condition was not pleasant,
Well,
and
that
that's
sounds dreadful. What do you think? Do you think this? What was his name? Klauser? Do you think he had anything to do with this?
I had overheard a conversation between Dr. Klauser and someone else. They wanted to turn the chapter of the clubhouse into something called the Order of Azure Eyes. And
Interesting. Azure eyes. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, his method is talking about a different perspective, but this seemed quite ominous, and they did not realize that I had overheard. And then, after that conversation, I I discovered Harrison dead. Please, if there's any way you can find out.
Well, I can assure you our colleagues are on their way to your friend Harrison now. They will treat his body with the utmost respect and will do their best to get to the bottom of whatever it is that killed him, as I'm sure you must have surmised. We have methods and the authority vested by the Queen herself to conduct investigations in a way that is beyond the typical daily purview of Scotland Yard.
And I think as you're saying this, Jack, I think Lady Ross Carter, I think the name Dr. Lawrence Clauser comes up in your memory. You once availed yourself of Dr. Clauser's services. What painful circumstances from your past made you seek his help? And was he able to put you at your ease? This is specifically for you.
Yes, I think I did seek this Dr. Klauser out at one point. It was many years ago. I think I was thrown from a horse some 25, 30 years ago, and I suffered great back pain for many, many years. It still shows up now and again. But I went to him, and he gave me something that gave me terrible nightmares. While it did help with the pain, the lack of sleep it caused did not bode well for me.
And as you come back to yourself from this memory, I think Jack is finishing up his spiel about Hargrave House. Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, like, Annabelle Fitzgerald is still in shock. But yes, you have questions and opportunities to engage with for this. First off, is a threshold question. She overheard this conversation between Dr. Clauser and someone else about the Order of Azure Eyes. Your question is the Order of Azure Eyes real? Complexity 2. Answering this unlocks the next appropriate question. So answer this first, and then you open up the next appropriate question. Is the Order of Azure Eyes real? And there is a mask associated with this threat. Give me a second. The Mask of Catharsis. Each hunter describes a flashback to a time they felt released of all their burdens. As Dr. Whitford and Larabee go and check out the body in the Whitechapel Alley, she's given decent description of like where this could be found. There are different locations, just so you know, out of character, what are associated with this threat. Could go visit Dr. Clauser himself. There is, of course, the salon where the clubhouse of the Bright and Beauty their meetings. And then there's, of course, the alley behind the inn where nearby the clubhouse itself. And then the inn nearby the salon. So, yeah. There's a few locations associated with this for sure. And the person you talked to, again, I'm going to enter, yep, you entered in Annabelle Fitzgerald, yep, and Dr. Lawrence Clauser. So, given that, where would you all like to apply your work for the day, for this day phase, the rest of day phase?
I have an idea for an answer to a Figs question.
Okay.
If we want to have a moment to answer a question.
We would do that during the dusk phase, I think, right?
Is that the only time? Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
only time we did
Copy.
as with
Okay,
the
cool.
current rule set, we can only answer questions in the dusk phase. So yeah.
Yes.
Copy.
Yep.
I
But yeah.
certainly want to do things to the body that are not appropriate to do in an alley. So
I mean,
Well,
you
I
know,
would
if you have to,
gladly
you could
join
do
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we need to collect the body.
I mean, and if you have to, you don't necessarily have to wait. I'm just saying.
Lady Ross Carter, perhaps you and I could visit this salon.
Yes, perhaps. And I think I haven't told anyone about me knowing this Dr. Klaus.
Mm-mm.
And I'm kind of mad to hear his name, and I kind of don't even want to consider him at this moment.
Well, there's still figs pigs, remember?
Right. So I think I want to go prod around with some figs.
Okay.
Let me think about where I would like to do that. Come back to me.
Sure. And then
And so how close is this alley that we're retrieving this body from with how close is that to Fig's Pie Shop?
oh God, you're asking me to be geographically up on my stuff. Whitechapel and Shoreditch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's
Are
it-
they
what's-
they're
what-
not
what-
close?
what's-
The answer is not close, because I was wondering if it was there, if it was nearby while the doctor was like doing doctor stuff on this body. I was going to like, see if I could find like, Rag the street urchin and like ask him some stuff. But if that's nowhere nearby, I'll see if I can poke around the alley and see.
Hold on. Just for funsies, I took a look. Directions. Let's just see. Less than like a little bit less than a mile. I'm not lucky. So Whitechapel and Shoreditch. But I mean that's by car. So
Yeah.
0.9 miles.
Well, I mean, a mile in the street, a mile on city streets. Yeah, that'll probably take you, 20 minutes to walk, if that.
So
Okay. Yeah. I think that was just a thought. Yeah. Maybe I'll nose around this. So this was So the body was found. So the body was. No, I'm trying to remember here. The body was dumped near this clubhouse.
hold on. Now I gotta like figure out Whitechapel and Kensington.
Or not. Okay. I was just trying to think of what I would do while the good doctor is examining the body. But then again, actually, come to think of it, we're gonna
keep her from getting bushwhacked while she's examining the body, maybe.
Yeah, and also, I think she said she wanted to like collect the body and bring it elsewhere and like do the examination in a place that's a little more, a little safer than an alley in Whitechapel. Whitechapel's pretty rough.
Or use you to guard dog, and then this way she can do whatever she needs to do.
Yeah, I could do that too. I could just be yeah, that's true. I could just keep watch.
I think at this point I would like to get to the body and look at the body and determine whether or not I want to relocate it.
Yeah,
Works for me.
And you can always examine said corpse. Gee, I wonder what you can do there.
Gee, I wonder.
I wonder. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's go. Okay. So, and then Jack, what are you doing?
I mean, since the lady Ross Carter has deferred on going to the salon, where like we probably could use her upper crusty, familiarity with that sort of setting. I will sigh and ask Miss Fitzgerald if she will take me to the salon and show me around, and I will assure her that I will keep her safe while we do so.
Certainly, I probably should let Eugene know. He sorry, Mr. Paulson is our host at the salon, and it was so strange finding Mr. Leeds that way. I came here immediately, and I just could not. I'm sorry.
I will accompany you while we speak to whomever we need to speak to at the salon to try and help get to the bottom of this.
Thank you.
Yes. You have been a rock so far, Miss Fitzgerald. I must commend you on your courage and your perspicacity for coming to us. It's not everybody who would have the wherewithal to do so.
Thank you. I can only hope you can figure out who had done this. Seems impossible.
The number of impossible things we do before a typical breakfast would surprise you.
Poor Mr. Leeds. And, okay, so, Jack's going to salon. Dr. Whitford and Larabee are going to check out the body. Lady Ross Carter, do you know what you'd like to do with Figs?
Yes, I would like to go see Sir Anthony Reese Wood, one of
Sure.
my REC,
Yep.
the occult and paranormal
Okay.
connection.
Sure. Alrighty. Let me just check out what I need to know about Sir Anthony Reese Wood. Let's go head over to the body first, and then we'll go to Lady Ross Carter, and then Jack at the salon. Okay, so, you guys make it over to the body over at Whitechapel. The alley. The alley behind this Footman's Inn. There's slick moss on the crooked cobblestones, a rusty gate, and a cacophony of bad smells. It's almost impossible to tell that there would be a corpse here. And, could be a corpse, it could be some other thing. God's help you. Paint the scene.
Well, something died here.
Paint the scene. You are quite certain that the architecture of this alleyway is playing tricks on you. What here is not as it seems. This is the alley.
What here is not as it seems. Oh, that sounds like a question I would be. That sounds like a question I'd ask the GM if I would roll to discern realities in Dungeon World. But anyway,
I think that it's an inconsistent length. Like at times it looks longer and at times it looks shorter. But the entrances on either side aren't as fixed as in reality as I would like them.
One of the walls is surprisingly clean, as if it had somehow been power washed, although that technology doesn't exist.
there's a texture to the brickwork on the building for the opposite side. That like it's like decorative brickwork, which would be very unusual to see decorative brickwork facing an alley, and because of the pattern, it plays tricks on the eye.
There's a little place where the alley kind of jigs a little bit. And when you walk past that turn, um, it's like a curtain. The noise of the rest of the city just fades. You know, the like the people yelling and horses clip clopping and newsboys hawking and all that kind of stuff and everything. You hear it clearly, but you kind of turn this corner and then it's like it's like it's been turned down, and like the dripping, like dripping from a standpipe is incredibly loud, and the skittering of a rat in the alley has this kind of preternatural sound to it because the rest of the noise of the city is like eerily faded away in this kind of one spot in the alley.
All right. So, you two, venture inward into this strange alleyway where it kind of gives you the optical illusion of longer, shorter, you're not sure. But as you try to breathe in through your mouth and try to ignore the smell, I think you do spot the prone form of the deceased Mr. Leeds deeper into the alley, almost midway between the two entrances of this place. And it is how Annabelle Fitzgerald had described. The body is of this middle-aged man whose hands are bloodied. I mean, as if he either rinsed his hands in somebody's blood or he had done something and, yeah, was still having dried evidence of such. And his eyes, well, his face has not only the dirt streaks from being prone, but also, like, you can see some discernible color coming from his tear ducts, streaking down his face and down his cheeks of blue tears. There's nothing else in this alley that would make that distinct sapphire or turquoise color. Sorry, turquoise. Turquoise color. Or azure color. Sure.
Well, I'd never seen that before.
But he's distinctly dead.
Nor have I.
Would you like to take a closer look, Doctor?
I would love to take a closer look at this body.
All right. So, what would you like to ask?
Oh, let's see. What would someone else miss? I forget, am I supposed to ask one or two of the move?
Two of the following.
Okay.
Two of those questions.
Can I take a body part without anyone noticing?
I mean, if Rose is watching for any, like, disturbances, or for, for anybody to give you any problems, then she may not notice, like, what you're doing. Let me give you the untrained eye thing. And then, Rose, if you'd like to go take a little look-see around, which could also distract you from noticing what the said doctor is doing, then sure, go for it.
I was indeed going to like poke around and see if there was anything, see if there was any indication as to who might have left this body here, or
Yeah.
looking around. I'm looking around this disgusting alley for anything that might be out of place.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we have any sort of arrangement with Scotland Yard or someone else for corpse disposal? Like, can I send a runner somewhere to have this picked up? Do we just
Could
leave
I
it
have
on
brought
the
that
street?
rug? I brought Jack up. Could have Jack up in.
That sounds so gross. Oh my god. I mean, if you want to, sure. I mean, like,
Nah,
you just like not the rug thing, but like the runner thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, if you'd like to say, hey, like you can, I don't know. If you think you can trust somebody to to be around, it's not like you can call on the phone. I mean, like, it's like
Right.
you have to figure out a way to get in touch with these.
I just don't, if I'm going to harvest this body, I don't want like to propose another mass murderer is also out there taking people's, say, eyes by leaving an eyeless corpse somewhere. But I don't feel like, maybe I don't need to know how that works. Maybe
you don't need to know how that works, really.
I can leave bodies wherever I find them. Okay.
Pretty much. Pretty
Cool.
much. It's not like she's gonna want to come back and see her her compatriot's body for sure. So let me give you something. Give me a second. When untrained eye, look over, look here. Okay, I think as you're examining his body, checking obviously that he's definitely dead, for sure, and you're like just kind of like checking out the strange composition of those tears, and just kind of like checking his body for like the different vitals and everything. I think your hand comes upon something in a hidden pocket in this man's coat, and you discover, and you can pop this clue into the threat for Order of Azure Eyes. You find, and you would notice this for definite sure, a syringe holding a few last drops of an unidentified liquid. It looks odd. Like, as you hold up the syringe and then you do that thing where you flick it, it's like just something in there looks iridescent, but you don't know what it is. And that's the clue for that particular thing. What body parts, or like what else, like as you're, rooting around, you discover the secret pocket thing. What seems squishy enough for that you want to go rooting around for your body part, Doctor?
I, the player, supposed to be relatively unconcerned about whether or not I can actually like remove a heart and put it in my pocket, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't care.
I
You
don't
just
care.
take it.
Okay.
You got a little
Um,
you got a little black bag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you got the doctor's black bag. You know,
waterproof.
stuff it in there, wrap it in some newspaper, throw it in there.
Because
There
you
we go.
have your equipment in the black bag. Nobody knows
Fair.
about that secret sealed pocket in it that can hold stuff. Nobody knows about that. So, yeah, whatever. If you want a
Okay.
heart, sure. Yeah.
I'll take a heart.
So for those few moments, what do you think of when you hold that heart associated with your loved one?
I think of napping. I think of sleeping in the same bed as someone and just sort of seeing their heart, their pulse in their throat. Dell had very fair, almost translucent skin, and you could see her circulation more clearly than others.
Okay. Rose, you're a little busy, which is why you're not noticing what Dr. Whitford's doing in terms of examining the body. So, how are you searching around this stinky alley?
I know I am not in. I mean, I know I'm not in like animal form right now, but I'm trying to get a sense of anything like weird or spiritual, or I'm thinking this has to do with something. So I'm trying to tap into the creature, and I'm trying to tap into like, the vestiges of the beast that I know are there in the back of me, and I'm trying to look at things through, unnatural, like, through my unnatural, through my unnatural eyes. Basically, I'm looking for weird, like, I'm trying to get a sense of like weird supernatural or that sort of thing. The weird, the supernatural, the magical. There's got to be something weird going on here because, you know, looking around a garbage strewn alley, I'm not an investigator.
So you're
Does that
using
work?
so
So
you're
I
using sensitivity.
basically I want to try to use sensitivity to try to I want to try to use sensitivity to try to like suss out if there's anything weird that might have been around here.
Okay. I'm not going to use shaken up against you because I figure, like, because you're a bit disturbed, it's actually making you more sensitive to this shit. So, yeah, go ahead and roll with sensitivity.
Okay, I don't think I want to use a stash item here, so I'm just going to roll with sensitivity. And that is a 7.
Okay. All right. Let me resolve that once I get through the round of everybody else. All right. So, Lady Ross Carter, you are visiting Sir Anthony Reesewood.
Yes.
REC. What is the one thing as you enter into his office at the REC that endears you to him, but also is kind of annoying about him, about his office?
About his office. Um, he's got a desk, and his chair is slightly higher than the chairs in front of his desk. So when you sit down, he's always just slightly taller than you. And I know what he's doing. I've done it myself. It's a cheap trick, but it works every time, and I hate it that he's doing it to me.
Well, Lady Roscarter, it's fine to see you here today. What can I do for you?
Sir Anthony, it's very nice of you to meet with me. I want to pick your brain for a little bit.
Certainly, certainly. What can I help you with?
What do you know about dreams?
It depends. I mean, if you're talking about the Laszlo interpretation, I mean, like, there's a specific perspective to that kind of work. But if you're talking about the just the general layman's terms, then it could be anything you actually want. So,
Well, I've had an interesting dream, and some of the other people in my house have also had these dreams. I'm going to assume that probably we've all talked about our dream, if that's okay. Uh, and I'm curious if I were to tell you some of the things that happened, if you'd be able to tell us what it means.
ooh, oh, sounds fascinating. Do you think that there's been some sort of uh, uh, like occult disturbance that could have
Oh, well,
triggered
that would
this?
that would be why I've come to you. Uh, because we've all had similar dreams. There are things that are all parts in common, and now one person having a nightmare is a thing that happens, but to have multiple people have overlapping dreams and premonitions, omens, it's unique. And I figured, who else than Sir Anthony would I want to come and ask about?
You honor me, Lady Ross Carter. Ah,
Well, I know where
please.
the bread is buttered.
Well, you butter my bread just fine. Please tell me about the recurring themes and motifs of your dreams as I search my library for such symbols and omens.
So maybe we have a little montage of you see Ross Carter like elaborately like explaining stuff, moving her hands,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like stood up and she's drawing pictures and like kind of doing her best to represent all four dreams in either verbal or in writing out symbols, etc., etc.
Right. So this is like two clues, and let me just make sure I'm not using anything. And this is for figs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Motifs.
She's also really curious what kind of physical ailments can persist after a dream, because she's talking about her throat being sore after one. Seems very odd.
Well, you do know that, and as he's perusing his books, you know that sometimes the reality of the dream permeates into your physical reality. Your body will feel what your mind says it experiences, regardless of whether it be the dream stuff or not. So,
Don't tell Descartes that. He would disapprove.
ah, do you think I follow that?
Ah,
Please. Ha.
French people, am I right?
Yes, the French. um, Interesting that you tell me about these particular motifs. There seems to be some kind of recurring theme of some. Well, you're mentioning the disembodied voice. Did you say that they saw some kind of entity specific?
Yes. In various forms, very, very various forms. We all saw a uh, swine
Ah,
creature chief, leader. Some of them spoke, some of them merely grunted.
huh. Interesting. It's almost as if there's some kind of possibly a farm motif here.
Yes, farm, but also just livestock in general, or
Yes.
perhaps more specifically, swine.
Yes. Doesn't seem to be certain indications about the swine specific. They don't want to. They don't seem to want to.
I have another question. What do
Yes,
you see in the terms of pigs and humans being possibly the same
being the same. Hmm.
or equivalent or
Well, I mean, there's been some tell from the medical profession, although I've only
Yes.
heard this, they're saying that the skin texture is quite similar. I'm told no truck with that particular belief. It is only what I've heard, and so that similarity breaks down after that.
Yes, doctors can be quite interesting folk, right? I live with one. They come up with some odd
Yes, Dr.
hypothesis
Whitford,
sometimes.
quite
Yeah.
the intelligent
Oh yes.
woman there. I'm always impressed when I hear her speak. She has a very comparable base of knowledge.
I doubt she would play along with our conversation today. She
No,
seems to often be very stuck in the books.
yes, speaking of books, huh,
Yeah.
this is a very strange reference here. Take a look at this. And then he points out, like, maybe one of the references for the motifs. He points out like a dream definition that seems to be pointing to like a dream synonym of sorts, and it points to piles of velvet cushions caked with dried blood. You were saying
Ooh.
also it's like a motif of blood,
Yeah.
like the cushions of the pillowness, the shape of the pig, and then the blood, and then this just seems to be synonymous.
Like the colors and the
Yes, yes,
frilly
yes.
lace and the
Possibly,
yes.
yes,
Yes.
possibly. And then
Very
this,
interesting.
yes, and then this one, well, this has to do with animals themselves, but I don't understand. Ugh. Wait, what? And then like he's kind of flipping through a different book, and then he grabs another book from a
What is
higher shelf. Now this is odd.
what?
So,
Oh, Sir
this
Anthony,
is
spit it out. What is it?
it's a more modern reference, and I don't want to just say that it's should be given with some kind of like any support, but this mentions some taxidermy for a particular kind of creature, but it uh interesting.
Like a particular procedure for taxidermy or
No,
uh
a
oh.
hybrid creature.
Mm.
It's taxidermied boar. What is this? Boar. No. Boar man. No.
Boar man?
Yeah, they were trying to. I'm hoping this was a joke.
Like a
They were trying to
centaur?
imitate. They were trying to. Yes, they were trying to imitate a minotaur.
Minotaur.
Yes. Ah.
I often forget which side is which with the centaur and the minotaur.
Yes. No. No. It's just the head, the boar, the yes,
Yes.
and then the rest is a man. Eh, found in a lab. Yes. This has to be. I'm hoping this is more of a jest, but yes, they found a taxidermied boar man found in a lab. Someone seemed to have been experimenting. This is a more
Do you
modern
mind if
reference.
I take this book with me?
Uh,
I swear I will take good care of it and bring it back forthwith.
you sign your hand on it, and then he pulls out a piece of parchment to have you sign it.
Yes.
Note of writ, you're borrowing it.
Ooh. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will take great care of it.
Appreciate it. And yes, I mean, like, it's a bit like the clues. The clues are, of course, the piles of velvet cushions,
Yeah.
caked with dried blood, and a taxidermied boar man found in a lab.
Well, Sir Anthony, it has been a pleasure as always. Let me know if there's anything you need. I will be happy to continue to fund your research.
Ah, well, always appreciated. You know that I can always use more for my rare book collection.
Well, give me a list and I will see what I can do.
The more interesting finds. This, not sure about, so happy reading.
Thank you.
And then, just real quick before I go back to Larabee and resolve that 7, Jack, over the salon, Annabelle will bring you to this place in Kensington. There's the lingering scent of tobacco and perfume. There's a grand piano slightly out of tune. There's souvenirs seemingly from all over the world. Paint the scene for everyone. This is where the affluent mingle with hapless artists and intellectuals. How do you know this? Ay, ay, ay. Affluent mingle with hapless artists and intellectuals. How do you know?
I think this is where you would find the most hip new styles to show up in the way where like the people there look like they're in really shabby clothes, but they're actually like on the cutting edge of something new. So like uh a 1800s London equivalent of skinny jeans from the early O's. That
Yes.
like it's sort of this like whatever would be the equivalent of a hipster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fashionable
fashion
ahead of.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So I think probably like the artists are there and they look like that out of normal attire, and then the intellectuals are copying that style because they see it and they think it's really cool.
Every piece of art in the place, whether it's a painting, a sculpture, whatever, like a transcription of a sonata, has the artist's name and the patron that sponsored that work of art, listed, like if it's got, if it's a painting, it's got the artist's signature and there's a little plaque saying who their patron was. And every single piece of art in the place advertises the patron alongside the artist.
I think there are a couple older women who are surrounded by some very, very pretty poets of any gender, like unusually striking and extremely attentive poets.
I think the furniture in this, I think the furnishings in this place are much nicer and much newer than they have any right to be. Like, some rich person who liked to hang out here did not like sitting on this like old crappy wooden chair and like, bought some nice had delivered some like nice upholstered like love seats and chairs and ottomans and whatnot.
I had an idea for our clue that we got that Dr. Whitford and I came up with. Kim, unless did you have something specific in mind, or I kind of so I kind of like the idea that like after like Lady Ross Carter like blows out of there so that she doesn't have to, like so like she excuses herself quickly before we can talk her into like, coming with us. And like as I am coaxing um Miss Hoffman, is that who's the
Fitzgerald?
Fitzgerald, yes, yeah, sorry. Um Annabelle, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So because like as I'm coaxing Annabelle out the door and assuring her we're gonna be okay and all this kind of stuff and everything, the mail arrives, and in the mail is a handwritten invitation um to join the Order of the Azure Eyes, made out to Lady Ross Carter.
So important, most beloved. He, he. Yep, like it. And doesn't solve a thing. So there you go. Love
Yeah.
it. I think and Jack, as you accompany Annabelle, and just before you enter the salon and see all of this stuff, I think she's kind of telling you something a little bit about herself. And her accent's a little bit strange. Like, it does sound a little bit English, but it's a bit off. And then you find out that her family has migrated from the United States to London when she was a teenager.
Hmm.
But she's, even after all this time, she's still the American in Kensington. um, and she has very specific views on social equality and women's rights. Um, and she's telling
You and
you,
Ms. Larabee would get along like a house on fire.
that's good to know. Uh, at first, I was convinced that Dr. Lawrence could help mend the wrongs in society, but the path he offers is a dark one. Whatever you do, whatever you and your compatriots do, please be careful. I'm not sure what else he or whomever he's working with might be capable of.
Ms. Fitzgerald, I can assure you that I am more resilient than I appear. And this sort of thing, Hargrave House handles all of the time. My principal concern is seeing to it that you are safe and secure. Do you want to go in with me, or it?
I should provide the introduction to Eugene,
Ah, so
our host.
you are one of the patrons and not one of the artists.
I'm a member of the salon, yes. Um, so,
Uh, Perhaps you can introduce me as a down on his luck poet then.
certainly. That seems wise. Um, this way, you do not seem like you are someone who could be an intruder.
It will explain my appearance, I say, indicating my, kind of, very plain workmanlike clothes that I wear.
Thank you, thank you. Um, Again, the person you will be meeting will be our host, Eugene Paulson. And as you enter into this salon and you see all this stuff, you you just get a whiff of this smoke, and you see this fellow who's dressed in this flowy dressing gown, loose trousers, and he's just struck a pose on one of the lounge chairs, and he's just chain smoking like crazy. And yeah, he's just kind of like looking away as if he knew that he heard your voices, and then he was ready to pose just as the door opened to so you can see him in that position. And then he kind of like turns quickly to the door and says, "Oh, Annabelle, what is going on? I I just seem to sense something." And like he's kind of like making these gestures, like in one hand with the cigarette, and the other hand is like making these weird gestures with his fingers. I just had this sense of something weird, something strange going on. It's just awful, awful. Um, what's happened?
And I will, stride the couple of steps across the room, um, um, uh, throw out a hand, and, and like grab his hand, grip it, shake his hand.
Oh,
Master Paulson, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. My name is Jack, just Jack. Just Jack. I have chosen to um, divest myself of my surname so that I can more closely commune with the spirits of my ancestors that flow through each of us. Mr. Paulson, sorry, Master Paulson, Miss Fitzgerald has assured me actually, would I call her Lady Fitzgerald? No, she's not Lady Fitzgerald. Miss Fitzgerald has assured me that you, sir, are a patron of the arts, and not just of the traditional arts, but the arts uh, that would normally uh, go as beggars before traditional sources of support. I am such an artist, sir, I can assure you. And I'm like shaking his hand the whole time.
Uh, oh, goodness. Yes, Annabelle, uh, Jack, you've come at such an odd time. Annabelle, have you lost time? And like he's kind of like, kind of like he kept on shaking your hand, but like his
Mhm.
attention drifts to Annabelle. A little, um, and she's like not mentioning anything about Harrison yet. Um, and he's just kind of like drifting off and saying, "This is awful. This is absolutely awful. The clubhouse of the bright and the beautiful is meant to be a safe haven, but just people like seeming to lose time and not know where they are, and they end up being confused, and there's been some kind of rumor of people turning up dead. What is this? Who will be next? Oh, God, what have we done to deserve this?" I think like chain smokes again.
And I lean in and I get like very close to him and I say, "You've done nothing to deserve it, sir, but there are forces that would suppress suppress the sort of art, the sort of expansion of consciousness that you seek in this place. When you encounter such obstacles, sir, there is only one direction, and that is forward.
Forward.
Forward."
Indeed. Indeed. And we cut it back over to Larabee. Larabee, you saw something in the alley, for definite sure, and this is with the order. Let's see. I think in this smelly, gross alley, I think you are led. Like, maybe you turn your human eyes, which may be for flashes. It kind of like flashes to your leonine eyes, kind of thing. And in those flashes, perhaps you get a different perspective, like it kind of rounds out, or the colors change, or something like that. And you spot something behind certain splotches in the alleyway. And I think what you see is a discolored splotch when you get this flash. And on just behind one of the splotches, as you move like some stones, or you kind of like kick away at some of the clods here, and maybe there's some trash strewn around as well, or something more unidentifiable. You see in blood the sentence, "I am real," as it drips and yet stays where it's written. The sentence, "I am real," written in blood, is your clue. Something you hear like from the opposite entrance from where you are. You hear like a thud, or like a kind of like a step, as if somebody has kind of like entered into the alley. They didn't open the entrance. They kind of like, maybe you heard like some kind of like like as if they climbed the gate or whatever, and then they drop down, and you see someone in a three-piece suit with a bowler hat like low down across their face, and you just hear, "You shouldn't be here." And you see kind of like their one fist, kind of like do that, kind of like, what's the word? The can't think of the word. It's kind of like that, kind of like a snapping motion, and it turns into a fist at the end of it, like as if they're kind of like doing a power up, but it's not a power up. You know what I'm talking about? And like as if they're gonna get ready to get some action in. What do you do?
Um, Rose is going to approach this guy quickly and is going to draw her gun and point it at him and say, "You need to stop right there."
And the bowler hat does not come up, and then they just kind of they hear the gun. You do the
Oh
safety
yeah,
of it,
you get.
right?
Oh yeah, you. Oh yeah, that's. Gun comes out, and it's it's one of those old west guns. Like fans the like cocks it by fanning it with her left hand.
Hmm.
It makes a very distinct click. Makes a very distinctive and unmistakable click sound.
Right. Um, and then yeah. So I think they say, a gun. Hmm. Interesting.
And just who are you anyway?
Someone to just see that reputations are not ruined.
And whose reputation are you talking about?
They kind of just keep the hat lowered, but kind of like raise their hands. No need. But just know there will be eyes on you from everywhere if you dig any deeper. And they'll reach behind them, and then they'll like unlatch the gate, and then proceed to back out.
And once she's sure that he is actually left and isn't and I think she'll like approach the gate and like crane her neck around to make sure he's actually like leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when she's confident of that, she will holster her pistol and return to the doctor.
Yeah. But
And says, "Hey Doc, we need to finish up here pretty quickly because somebody just came nosing around."
the condition is curiosity might get you. So.
When you turn around, Dr. Whitford is attempting to examine the optic nerve of this eye, so you just see her sort of pulling one
Just
out.
nice. I'm gonna
Oh my
call that
gosh.
condition curiosity just might kill the cat.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. All right. So I think, yeah, I think for right now, we're going to close out of this particular, we're going to close out of day phase, and then we can go into a quick dusk. So this way we can kind of see what you guys want to do. Um, yeah, let's do that because I want, like, because Clint, you said you had an idea for figs, or at least for one of the figs things.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a second. I just want
Sure.
to make sure that I close out. Okay. All right. So play structure. Let's take a look at this. Give me a second.
Did
All right.
did we put in the? I see TBD gymnasium clue there. Did we do that or?
We
Did you
haven't
want to?
we haven't
We haven't.
defined it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't, I mean, I had no problems if you want to wait until you actually answer a question.
Yeah, I don't have a I'm not,
So, yeah. Okay. So, day phase. Okay, dust phase. Here we go. Players may attempt to answer a question if they have collected enough clues and wish to do so. So, which Fig's question do you want to address?
so my first one that I think is pretty easy is what kind of animal does Patrick Fig think he is?
Oh, okay, cool.
and it's a pig of sorts.
Okay, okay.
And this was even before we got the Boar Man lab. But I was thinking that we have since these are bakers, they cook things. Uh, the dried or the now dried marmalade and the salt, the blocks of salt,
Hmm.
would all go into a honey baked ham of sorts.
Ho, 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 ho. Wow, okay.
Those are, and then perhaps the small book of pressed flowers written on the inside cover for one of my sweet one. And below that, I would also like to say maybe it has the little nursery rhyme. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy went home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy went wee wee all the way home.
As to your heart's content, sure. I'll take that. So those three clues?
So those are three. I don't want to spend too many because we have a lot to do here.
Yeah.
I'll throw it out to my team here and see what they think of that.
What do you think? Good enough
Feel,
for
feel free to edit or recontextualize.
Well, let's do one more. Because then the one more lets us roll at +2, right?
Yep.
Right.
So you're saying that he's a pig? Pardon.
Well, we have the taxidermy pigman found in a lab, but I mean, we could probably save that for something else too. What do you think?
I think we may as well use it. I mean, if it's a thing that he saw and like, is it a thing that he aspires to be, or is it like,
Oh, I think it's a thing that he thinks he is. Right?
okay, yeah, what
Like-
kind of animal does he think he
Oh,
is?
it's an it's
He
an
thinks
attempted
it's
self-portrait.
like a werebore kind of
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, he sees him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So there we go.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's a +2.
Yep.
Since you're spearheading this, Clint, you want to roll on that?
Yeah, I'll roll on the shared thing since this is
Which dice?
1, 2.
Which dice? Those
+2.
dice.
Which one? This one. I don't know why it's not letting me change my name. So where it says Prescott, that's for a different game.
You should
Plus
be able to
2.
double click
Should be
on
able
that
to just
and change
click on it and
Oh, I did it.
type over it.
I thought I'd done that, but it was not letting me do it.
And Matt, once this roll is done, I do have a question which might be a little out of order, but let's roll the die first.
So here we go with +2. A 9.
9.
Okay, 9. So you are right. He is a pig. So he considers himself a pig. That's 1 down, 2 more to go. And you cannot call the threat completely resolved until you go for the third threat.
And like a pig, or specifically like a boar? Like a big, tusky, mean boar.
I mean, the
that's
boar
a
would
good
make sense with that clue.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
All
I
right.
love it.
So then let's go for the boar then. Okay.
Boars are more dangerous too.
They
so.
are. Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So, Mads, I had a question before we switched to the dusk phase. There was one other thing I was hoping to do in the day phase,
Okay.
or which was basically on the way back to Hargrave House after we've done this. Like the doc goes back and basically I wanted to use my new move and hang out in the bar, get drunk at a bar get drunk in the bar.
It seems more appropriate for the night
For
phase, to be
night phase.
honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That is cool.
So, yeah. I mean, and of course,
I was hoping to have that under my belt before I had to roll my next
Nope.
my next curse, but nope. Okay,
Nope. Sorry.
that's okay.
Okay, dusk phase. Okay, so resolving any playbook moves. Now we resolve any playbook moves or special moves that are resolved during dusk phase. We got the American, the Quickening.
Got to do the quickening. Alrighty then. Let's roll with some sensitivity and let's see what we get.
Composure, sensitivity. Wait. First off, which are you rolling with first?
I'm gonna roll with sensitivity.
Okay, I will not hold shaken up against you then.
I'm gonna roll with sensitivity here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll. Let's see what we get. Oh, that's a 10.
Nice. Okay. So with a 10, with the quickening, that should give you body stronger and faster. You manage to keep the quickening in check. You roll with advantage when taking actions that use vitality until the next dawn phase. So make that note of that for when we go into night phase. So anything that you do with vitality, you will have advantage. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
So I'm looking at witch dice,
Yeah.
and the roll that you just made, Mike, looks like you
Oh,
rolled with the
shit.
wrong kind of dice.
You are correct. I did roll with the wrong kind of dice. That was unintentional.
Why? Okay. So, all right.
I rolled with
If
I
you
rolled
roll
with
with 10-siders, that makes it a lot easier.
yeah,
Okay.
I rolled eights.
Oh,
I
8-siders. Okay.
I rolled
all right.
eights. Yeah, I rolled eights, not sixes. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try it with
Ooh,
sixes
well,
this time.
yeah, that's
Ho
I'm
ho ho!
Well-
Wait a minute. I gotta take a picture of this. This is great. I love this shit. Okay, so you have a choice here. With that, you can either do a regular mask or you can reveal your curse to another hunter and ask for their help in controlling your curse this night. That's all you can do, but you two would get a point of XP each at completion of the night phase. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna mark the moss-covered gate.
Uh-huh. Is that what I think it is?
Tell the keeper to put the Pinkerton into play.
Yes! Woohoo! Sorry. I kind of like my Taggart. I love putting Taggart in play. He's an asshole. Thank you very much. Pinkerton. Yay. All right. Fun for me. All right, great. Okay. All right. And Mother, you get the Resurrectionists. Let's see what this includes. I forget how this works. Want to go ahead and read that out, Kim, for the
Sure.
Resurrections?
A gang of grave robbers led by a man called Harley White. Dingy workman's clothes, cracked teeth, smells of grave dirt. Is loyal to you. Each dusk phase, pick two. The grave robbers will dig up corpses that night. During the dawn phase, acquire a body part for the child. The grave robbers will search for other valuables that might, during the dawn phase, ask that night. During the dawn phase, ask another hunter what they found and add it to your personal quarters. A grave robber, either Harley or another, name them, will accompany you during the upcoming night phase. Take the following condition: ghoulish. Any roles associated with actions the grave robber is helping you with are taken at advantage. Or you'll face no blowback or complications from any criminal activities the grave robbers get up to that night.
Which two do you want?
Oh, I haven't decided what I'm doing during the night phase, so I don't know if I'm going to want Harley. Today, I would like to send them out for valuables and have no consequences.
Okay, valuables, no consequence. All right. So be it. All right, find out what they get in dawn phase. All right. And now you guys get to decide whether you want to have a London night phase or a Hargrave House night phase. If you decide to have a London night phase, you say what your hunter will attempt to do during the upcoming night phase. I will introduce an unseen and then assign prompts to you. If you decide to have a Hargrave House night phase, I will assign a a room in the house, to be explored, and I will assign the prompts to the players. So, just so you guys know, I'm going to read out a quick list of all the rooms that are currently available to you in the house, which is a lot of fun because there's a lot more rooms than there previously were. So it's interesting. Okay. Let's see now. For the house, you can explore. Let's see. You can explore the ballroom, the basement, the conservatory, the dining room, the gardens, the kitchen, the library, the map room, the music room, the salon, the trophy room. So those are the ones that are the Hargrave House exploration. Yep. But that's all you do during the night phase.
Do we get any kind of spiff or advantage or anything for doing that?
Depends on the room.
A lot of
Oh,
them
oh,
seem to have like a
you
special
get
move.
something from the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you unlock something once you do a Hargrave House room.
Okay.
So either a move or you get an item, each or something. It depends on the room. It's something new.
So my thought here is that like we don't have a threat that's like imminently like breathing down our neck. We can't like the figs pigs one. We just need to we have to resolve them. We have to answer all of the questions before we can resolve the threat. And Rose is not feeling her best this evening, so maybe this might be a time to bank one of those Hargrave House rooms. How does everybody feel about that?
Cozy night in.
Okay, we
Cozy
can do
night
that.
in. Yep.
Yep.
Yep, for sure. So let's see. What would I like to have you guys explore tonight?
So I wasn't going to be doing anything anyway. I was gonna try to use my new Cruelest of Harlots curse move, but if we're going to stay in, I think I have to go out to do a London night phase to use that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, yeah, if everyone else wants to do Hargrave House, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
The other reason I wanted to do that is I'm currently full up with conditions.
Yep. Oh boy. Ooh, do I do this one? Oh god, this could be crazy. Wow. Some of these rooms, man. There's a bit of a cut scene. For back at after they're done with the gym, I think Mrs. Pemberton Potts is back in the carriage on the way back to her house with her two wards. And while they may be discussing what they've done and are getting ready to get home and get cleaned up for the day, I think she is remembering something, and I think we go into a flashback of her memory, and I think we go back to an earlier time, like Rose is younger, not much, well, young enough, but this is after the expedition returns, and Rose is grieving, and she capitulates to her own grief by ordering her own exploration of this haunted forest to complete Sir Thomas's work. And she tries to get the Queen's blessing for this, and Victoria agrees reluctantly. She comes back eventually, somehow changed. A completed map and a possible trade route through the forest itself. But she herself never spoke to Victoria ever again. And the very day that she came back, she rescinded her membership to the Royal Explorers Club. And we fade to black on that scene as we go into stars and wishes. Stars are things that you enjoyed about today's session, gameplay, roleplay each other, and wishes are, of course, what you'd like to see for next time or the future for your characters. We can go into character keeper order, unless somebody wants to just jump in and say, hey, this is great.
Sure. I'm happy to go if the American's up first. So sure. Yeah, stars all around. I just want to say big stars to everyone for those dreams that everyone did. Those, I think they were all just freaking tastic. Loved them all. Um, Jim, just big star to you for for us seeing Jack get killed and brought and like come back around, and I just thought that was a really interesting scene, and like we got a little more insight into Jack and this process and how, oh damn, I'm still alive. Not usually the reaction you would expect, but if it's the 197th time that you've gotten killed and didn't move on, I can see that reaction, especially if you've been doing this for 2,000 years. Clint, I really enjoyed our little our little duet scene in your gymnasium. That was really I just thought that was really interesting and just just a tinge creepy, just a tinge. And yeah, playing and Kim, yeah, I loved our interactions while we were I loved our interactions like while like bringing Jack's body back to your lab and also while we were like exploring this corpse in the alley. I just enjoyed our interactions there. That was just a lot of fun. Wishes, twofold. One, I'm really interested to see how the Pinkerton is going to like throw monkey wrenches into everything, and two, I'm really hoping to use my new move.
I'll go. Same, Kim. I love how you were helping Jack out. That was good. A really great scene. You and Jack have good chemistry going, so that's always fun to watch. Uh, Jim, yes, the resurrection scene. You could definitely tell that you've been wanting to do that since probably before you wrote it, and so I'm glad. I'm happy for you that you got to do that. I hopefully you'll get to do it many more times. But I really dug your scene in the clubhouse when you were like, I forgot what you were just quoting like move forward, like that whole bit, like your monologue right there was really good and convincing, and you were really into it, and I respect that. That was great. Uh, Mike, I also loved our gym scene. I think we kind of broke the rules a little bit with who could ask questions. We were both asking each other private. I'm not worried about it, but I was like, hey, we're both doing this, which was great. I enjoyed that. And pro move on getting the Pinkerton out on the board. That's awesome. Uh, and Mads, I love Sir Anthony. That was a fun little scene. Like, I'm excited to clear some boxes so I could go back to him again. So, yeah, wishes. I guess I just kind of did a wish. I want to see Sir Anthony again. Uh, yeah, that's it. Pass it on to. Let's bounce over to Jim. Or wait, who was next? I'm sorry, am I breaking the rules?
Kim is next on the sheet.
Kim.
I can definitely go. Mads and Clint, again, Sir Anthony, that whole exchange, name dropping, all of it, great. Also in the name dropping front, every time you do that, Jim, it's awesome. Mike, I really liked the gym scene and sort of Rose seeing Lady Ross Carter as a person and maybe not wanting to, or like, I don't know. It seemed more personal than anyone had gotten with Lady Ross Carter before now. And like maybe what's being uncovered isn't great. Jim, I just love how kind and weird Jack and Dr. Whitford are to each other. And like waiting for my Elinor to come in before you started eating was adorable. I think wishes, I'm looking forward to meeting my resurrectionists. And the library. I'm really excited about having a in the house night face.
Yeah, I wrote a few things down here. Kim, right at the beginning, I wrote down, but needs must. Um, the way that Dr. Whitford was so matter of fact and clinical is the word I'm going to use about, oh, well, now it's time to chop my arm off. All right. Well, not a thing I would normally do, but under the circumstances, it's what's required. So shunk, just like that. And that was like just very creepy. That kind of like dream logic, but that's consistent with what we know about the character. Was really really cool. I really dug that a lot. Clint, I loved Lady Ross Carter, the thing where you were like having conversation, keep your eye on the ball, and then going back to your conversation like that. That was like such a sports thing. Like I'm not a sports guy, but like whatever. I played little league and stuff like that, and like I know those parents. And you're totally that parent. You are a parent in that situation, and clearly these are like whatever your kids you didn't have, and I love that dynamic, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that and to seeing and that may be getting into wishes, but I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. But that was just a great scene, and I love the dynamic as that happened there. Mads, I wrote down the word Monday because I love the way that you play um um Pemberton Potts digging at her by calling her Monday, by using that diminutive, that little nickname, which is clearly not a thing, like not a thing that anybody else could get away with calling her. None of us would dare call her Monday. But I love that. Just that little that dig, and that's like, that's one of those like clearly this is a thing that has been going on for a while kind of thing, and I really didn't notice that, and that was very cool. Mike, I love the thing where you like when you were kind of looking around the alley, you're sort of like letting the beast come up just a little bit, just enough so that you can use it, but not enough so that it actually like takes control or anything like that. And we haven't seen Rose do too much of that, and it was really cool to see you kind of explicitly invoke it today. I really like that. And nobody can see our chats on the side, but uh Mike invoked a jackalope as like they were talking about like con men and stuff like that, and I find the whole the jackalope trope and the whole story behind it delightful, and so that was great. And I can imagine Rose having a little bit of a snake oil salesman in her, because if you're a performer like that, you got to sell it. And so seeing a little bit of that come out today was really fun. Wishes, just kind of, everybody has talked about wanting to see these characters again and wanting to meet the alienists and stuff like that. And like my like big wish is that these characters not just become like, you know, we hit their name on a checklist once to get an advantage and then they're not, but that like they become real people that become part of the stories, and we can bring them in other situations, and that just because they're like, you know, Dr. Whitford's alienists doesn't mean that one or the other of us might not run into them in other situations, or, members of the Royal Society and stuff like that. And to see them just being mixed up in other stuff and having them, have real lives as well is a thing that I really am, that I'm really looking forward to, and that I really want to see happen. And yeah, and I don't think I've ever done one of the Hargrave House night phases, so I'm really excited for that to see how that rattles out and what we get from it, and if it was actually worth doing. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Definitely loved the masks that were related in the very beginning of the episode today. They were all fantastic, and I love the kind of callback. So this is the start to Clint for bringing that like, calling back to it for the scene with Sir Anthony to try and, like, kind of like tie it in narratively to the story of, like, well, we were going over all of our dreams and here's some recurring motifs. It's like, what can you tell me of how this is tying into the occult and everything? I love that. I love that kind of like tie back and call back to something, bringing it back to the stories, which is excellent. And then, yeah, I mean, like, Jack, your Jim, like, Jack, like, having so much like whimsicality with dealing with some of the people outwardly, like Eugene Paulson, but then having like the utmost care with the people that come to Hargrave House seeking help. Really love that about Jack. I mean, so he's not like a blasé immortal type character. I mean, like, this is a fellow who's like, God damn, I'm alive again. I mean, but he's not losing his humanity when he does it. So I really enjoy that. And hopefully he won't, like, hopefully he still kind of like does his best when he can. And like that chemistry, as Clint said, with Dr. Whitford is amazing, and I really enjoy seeing that too. So maybe the wish is to kind of like keep an eye on this power couple. So we'll see. I don't know. Um, yeah, and then Mike, I mean, you know, of course, Larabee pulling out the gun, like, to solve problems. Hey, why the hell not? I mean, like, somebody like coming into the alley to cause some problems. Why the hell not? Keep your distance. Like, there's the gun cocking, like, get ready to go. And yeah, you deterred them from possibly causing issue for you as well as the doctor. So that's like the best bodyguard position and best bodyguard move that you could make. Keep them away, you know? Um, and then, like, of course, like, again, that whole like scene with Lady Ross Carter of like, this is impressive, but creepy as hell. I mean, like, that was amazing. I just really enjoyed that scene between the two of you. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I mean, like, it was very practical of like Lady Ross Carter giving like advice, talk, and then just like I felt the tension could be cut with a knife as soon as Mrs. Pemberton Potts came in to the gym. And like, just like that phrase about encroachment, which was interesting. So I'm like, what is the rivalry between the two? I have no freaking clue. I can't wait to play to find out. So hopefully we get more revealed. I've only played with an explorer a couple of times and never fully within a campaign. So I'm interested to see what you're doing with this. I really like what you're doing with this, Clint, with this playbook. So I mean, like, if there's other things that you want to do or need to do with the mastermind, let me know, or like, let's bring that look those aspects out more. So, we can get a shot of you together, or if you want to bring up any kind of like flashbacks or memories with her, then that's great, because then it's like, we get more of a picture of their relationship, or what, I don't know, what happened in the past. I mean, like, whatever you think that might have been. Um, because yeah, there's some interesting history with her as well. And I agree, Jim. I like seeing characters not just be a checklist, but like real people coming back and affecting not only the PCs' lives, but also each other. Like NPCs, like affecting other NPCs, which creates the living world that is the environment that you're in, for definite sure. Oh, and then another star for Dr. Whitford, which is like, yes, I'm going to clean up you. I thought that was brilliant. That was great. I love that line. Um, yeah, I mean, there's probably other little bits, but I always tend to forget like to star certain things because I'm deeply immersed in either watching you or running the scene and trying to figure out like what to have you guys do next. So wishes just keep the momentum going. Hopefully it's like, again, trying to follow the play structure as best as possible. This is still a playtest. This is still my mastermind, because what ended up in the Sprigs and Kindling issue is definitely not how she is as a final, because again, the rules aren't completely final yet either. So I'm probably going to rewrite her a little bit and then make a new version or update it in my itch page. So I'll provide that to make the adjustments accordingly. And
And do
yeah,
you mind if I ask, for anybody listening to this or watching it who doesn't know what Sprigs and Kindling is? Can you tell us what that is?
absolutely. Sprigs and Kindling is a wonderful community zine dedicated to a lot of the writings of the community that writes for carved from Brindlewood games, such as The Between, Brindlewood Bay, Silt versus Public Access. If I'm forgetting one, please tell me because I can't
Go
remember them all.
Ghosts of El Paso?
Ghosts of El Paso, which is a between pack or extension set in America around the same time. So yeah, I mean like a whole bunch of different games of expansions, more playbooks, more masterminds, more threats, everything, and like a lot of different chock full of content for anyone that wants to like run these games and just like wants to know more or add more to their table for these games. So not just the published material, but also this published material, which is done by the community, which is thriving and rabid and excited about all these games, which is great. So yeah, they're on their third volume published now as of the recording of this video, and then they're going to be having their fourth out pretty soon. If
It's
not
a
this month, but
true,
next
and
month.
it's a truly insane amount of content for free in every issue. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
massive,
massive.
really pretty stunning. Yeah.
Yeah, like so volume 3 is 219 pages. That gives you an indication of how full and enriched like the community wants the games that they're excited about, which is great. So, yeah. Like hopefully and I always include a link to uh the games that I play or like, that I run into my YouTube description. So yeah, I mean like, go ahead and check these things out. And yeah, hopefully we'll get more people like, playing the games or becoming interested for sure. So yeah. Um Anybody have any other stars and or wishes?
I don't.
No?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I read the Mastermind when it came out.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of knowledge of it, and I don't want to go back and reread it because I don't want to push too hard on that gas pedal in any way. So this is the first time I've done the Explorer, first time I've seen an Explorer. So I'm not sure how much to like communicate with you directly about our past versus like how to like just let it happen and play. Or like I don't know if I actually have a question. It's just something that I'm not sure of how to do it. I'm not worried about it. For starters, I think it'll totally work itself out. I'm just kind of curious how other people would have approached that with like knowing that we have this past and the two people that are supposed to know it don't know it. Like, like what do you do with that?
It's like the factotum and whomever the
Yeah,
factotum serves, right? So like when I played the mother and like Rob was my factotum, we didn't know anything about it, but he supposedly knew me and like he'd served my family for blah 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 blah, and we just found out in play. I will say that there were certain bits where I was kind of like, is this okay if
sure.
I say this?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't like give an extensive like here's my whole backstory which is 15 pages.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
do that.
yeah. No,
But
no.
if I said like if I asked if this particular detail was okay to mention, or what he would do was like he would listen to my masks of the past
Hmm.
and then he'd build off of that and then build his masks of the past.
Neat.
So it's like that kind of thing going on.
It's a
Now,
good idea.
since all you have is my reveal history,
Right.
that's all you can go by. But I mean, like, and then your masks of the past are built on your relationship with the boy, the girl, that
Right.
of your past. So it's a bit different. And so you're welcome to contact me, DM me about like certain details that like, is it okay if da da da?
Yeah.
And I can say, yes, you're in the ballpark, or no, that's a little bit too far off the beam, right? Um, there's only like a specific period of time that I'm concentrating on that is specific to my mastermind, that is her driving force. So
Gotcha.
long as that doesn't get interfered with, then I have no problems with you and I creating something as we play through. And like, maybe it's a deep-seated childhood something or other rivalry that is like, I stole your doll. I don't know. I mean,
Right.
like, whatever it is. So yeah.
Cool.
I
The
mean,
rest of us are here slashing you guys as young women. Just want you to know that's yeah. So just the sooner you get to that,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. So cool. Awesome. So yeah. With nothing else to go over, we are not playing next week. And we will play the week after. We will start off with the quick Hargrave House night phase, go through the room and then unlock that move, and then we will start off with
And
go
I
through that
and
dawn
I
phase.
and I owe a narration about the letter from home because I
Yes,
from
for
the
your
from
Moss Clover
introducing
Cape.
the yep.
In fact, I mean, like, remind me. We'll do that first thing before the night phase begins.
I have another wish on that. I really love starting with backlogged masks. I feel like that's such a really good way to kind of get
Oh
the
yeah.
ball rolling.
Oh yeah.
So,
Good
like,
warm up. Good
so
warm
I
up, and
would,
I'd love to see it.
and I would even argue that it would be better instead of doing them at the end, just wait until the next time and
Oh yeah.
start. I
I
feel like
I
that's,
I
yeah,
love prologues. Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like we do want to give everybody the option to do it when they want to
sure, sure,
do
sure.
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
I
if
mean,
somebody has something that's like, I've got it right now, perfect time for it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I don't think we want to say we want to preclude them from doing that if they have something
sure, sure, sure.
right ready to go.
Yeah, the other group did it like, like the one person did it perfectly because it actually dovetailed into from their mask into their actual present, where it affected what happened in their present, which was amazing. So in that case, that was perfectly apropos. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can't come up with something right on the fly, guess what? Do it the next time in the very beginning of the next episode, which is a wonderful prologue, and it gives you a chance to think about it, right? And to create something that you're happy with. So
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Absolutely. Just don't leave it for like 3 episodes from now because I will not be happy with that at all. Yeah. So for sure. Awesome. All right. So you guys have a wonderful couple of weeks. I will see you next time that we meet. Happy gaming to you all if I don't see you for something else. And yeah. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Hey,
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Carol.